Welcome to day 17 of the Detox Rebalancing Program. Just checking in with everyone. We did a little check-in and now some tips and updates from my week. Everybody on my side who came in, everybody starts feeling alive right now. We feel more alive in our body with less toxins, more able to move. I've noticed that my yoga has improved, my menstrual cramps have been decreased, and overall my energy is better in the morning. We're on day 17, and just a reminder, on day 22, we switched to 2 shakes. Right now we're doing 3 shakes a day. You don't have to do 3 shakes a day. You can just do 3 servings of the shake powder in 1 shake. And I'm excited to go back down to 2 because all that powder and all the herbs are very filling as well. And we're going to meet next week on day 24, and that'll be the last day of 2 shakes a day. And then we're going to be doing 4 days of 1 shake servings until the end. So I hope you're all excited. We feel alive. Here are some of the recipes that we cooked this week. If you need any of these recipes, you can go ahead and just email me and I'll go ahead and gracefully just send them over. We have this salsa on top of salmon, and this is a great coconut cauliflower rice. I started feeling really full from all the quinoa that we were eating in the recipe book that they give for the detox program. So I started using cauliflower rice, which is a lot better because it feels like you're eating carbs, but you're really not eating that many carbs at all. So I suggest you trying a cauliflower rice recipe. You can buy it frozen as well, but from what we've experimented with, it doesn't really taste as good as grating a fresh whole cauliflower. It's worth the time. Every recipe that we've been doing, we've been doubling, tripling, or quadrupling because we're not a slave to the kitchen, and leftovers are always great for the next day. We're getting a little sick of these protein pancakes, and we made a whole about 3 or 4 days of for protein pancakes for us because we're doing it as a couple, and we're kind of getting sick of it just because it's the same thing over and over again. So we're going to take a little break from that and just start doing the nice cream again. Why isn't it switching? These zucchini noodles were amazing. They're raw as well. We didn't end up cooking them. It's a pesto zucchini. You can Google it. You can email me trying to find the recipe. Also, the meatballs in the detox program book, delicious. They're made with quinoa, not much quinoa at all, and it gives it a nice texture. We just ran out of marinara sauce, so we didn't put that on top. Here's another cauliflower rice recipe, and we switched up the fish and used shrimp. I wasn't a fan of it, but we're going to be doing that again tonight with chicken, because now we're a big fan of cauliflower rice. Reminding you that this is a rebalancing program, so we're balancing out the body so that we can naturally detox and we can forever hold this type of living and feel this well in our body and make it easier over time and do it together as a community so that we can do this sustainably for life and make it a part of our natural lifestyle in an easy, non-grueling way. And I know it's been a little tough at first with all the counting and measuring and making sure that you're doing everything properly, but slowly over time it becomes second nature and you just feel better being alive in your body, and that's what you deserve to feel like all the time. So if you feel like you haven't done your best so far in this program, I encourage you to turn it up a notch. If your goal is weight loss, now it's time to really dial it in. The choice is yours to do that. Make sure you're steering away from corn, peas, white potatoes, anything that's really heavy in carbs. Be cautious about the quinoa and lentils. Make sure you're not going over the amount that you should be, because it's really easy to. If you're not satisfied with the amount of weight that you're losing, cut that one banana that you're putting in your smoothie, cut it in half. If you're having a ton of fruit like apples, peaches, things like that, go ahead and switch to more berries. These are less calorie dense and have more antioxidants. They're better for your digestion as well. So go ahead and switch it up. Go ahead and make these last. Let's see, we have 9 days left. Go ahead and make it count. Reminder of your macros. Macros are your macronutrients. We have 3 macronutrients: fats, carbs, and proteins. Fats are our energy source for our body and our body function. So it's the enzymes, the hormones, all those good stuff in our body. We rely on fats. Carbs are primarily an energy source. That's why we don't need them as much, because fats already do the job. Plus, the carbs we have in the United States are not great for us anyways. So we don't have much of them at all, and we don't need much of them, from what research has showed us and from our own bodies have been telling us as well. Hey, it feels better in the long run to not eat as much carbs. Yes, we always are craving something. We have an itch for something. We crave bad foods. It's normal for us to do that. But we have to think of the long term, the end game. That's why we're doing this cleanse for 28 days, is that we don't need that many carbs because we feel better now. So, hey, that's our own evidence-based scientific research of doing it on ourselves, saying, hey, we really don't need that many carbs. And proteins, today we're going to focus on proteins and talking about those. We get a whole new body every 7 years if we're doing it right. So our body needs to actually put those building bricks on our body, and that's what protein is. Protein is in every cell of your body. And that's why we need a lot of protein. And it's what we've been focusing on. The first thing, hey, did you eat protein? How many grams of protein did I eat today? And it's very filling. Going back to the macronutrients, which are the fats, carbs, and proteins in your body. There's also micronutrients, which is another topic, but macronutrients, these are essential to your body. Protein needs to be, your minimum amount of protein is half your ideal body weight in grams, is your minimum amount of protein. So if you're doing a workout, you can have a strenuous workout, you will naturally gravitate towards more protein. And you saw in the detox book that chart, and it had a range of protein. So if you're going at the high end of your range, that means you should have been working out that day. And I know we're calculating and it's annoying, but we do this at first and then we forget about it and it becomes second nature. But this is what it takes to restart, reset, do it right. Because the way that we've been doing it in society, the way that we're bombarded with commercials, the grocery store, the advertisements, the way our parents taught us to eat, whatever that may be, is wrong. It's not the right way. So half of our ideal body weight in grams. So let's say my ideal body weight is 160. So half of that would be about 80. That's my minimum for the day. And then I could go up higher if I'm doing a strenuous workout. And I'm genuinely going to be more hungry because I did that workout. Fats is your ideal body weight in fat. My ideal body weight is 160. So I should be having 160 healthy fats in a day. And we've been doing that with about the 4 servings. But you can calculate that now and fine tune it a little bit more if you want to take it to the next level. I don't care how much you weigh, no more than 100 grams of carbs, maximum. Get this down in your brain for these last days and tune it in, get it right, take it to the next level. You can do this. You're feeling better in your body and we can take it to the next step, because you know that once this is over, you're going to want to have some other foods and try them and incorporate them back into your life. And we're going to be talking about that next week. We're going to talk about reintroduction and how to do that. So stay tuned for that. Eat most of your protein in the morning because it takes longer to digest protein than any other food. The other foods, fats and carbs, are more about energy, using it for energy. But we have to eat protein more early in the morning. So I'm saying, hey, I need at least 80 grams of protein in the day. So I'm going to have, I want to have about 20 at dinner, 20 at lunch. So that's about 40. And then I'm going to have in breakfast, 40 grams of protein. You see how I'm putting 40 grams of protein in my breakfast, 20 at lunch, 20 at dinner. So that's making me, hey, more protein in the morning. And as we age, we end up having sarcopenia, That is a diminishing of the muscles in our body, and it happens naturally. So there's more need for more protein as we age. And these walkers, oh, I'm showing the right one. Yeah. These walkers are, sorry, there's two screens here and it shows me the old one and the new one. So these walkers here are more readily needed for people who are not eating enough protein and they can't hold their own body weight. Protein is the most abundant organic molecule in the body. It's found in skeletal muscle and also it's found in enzymes as well, but mostly in muscle and skeleton. There are 20 amino acids that are inside the protein, and 9 are essential for us to be eating through our diet. We cannot get it any other way. We have to eat protein to get these essential nutrients, or we're going to have a disease. So we need to have these. Protein is required for growth, muscle maintenance, and maintaining enzyme activity. We need more protein as we age. And I'm going to talk about some of the sources of protein and the best sources. Here are some sources: chicken, fish, beef, plant protein, such as pea protein or pumpkin seed protein, and collagen. Now, if you're going to have chicken, it needs to be grass-fed organic. Last week, we talked about fats, and fats are really connected with protein. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about fats today, just because when we're having chicken and it's not organic, the fat on the chicken turns into a bad fat. Same with fish. If we're having fish and it's not wild caught, then it has more bad fats than good fats. The problem is that if we're not treating the animals properly and they're not allowed to fight organically in the wild and gain that healthy muscle and eat healthy food, they don't have good fats in their body. We're eating something that didn't take care of themselves. So what happens to us? We're eating chicken that we're not allowed to roam free and scavenge and fight for their food on the ground. They were just given things and they got to sit around and they're all crowded. They're not happy. Doesn't make us happy. And it's the sad truth. And same with fish. The wild fish have to actually swim upstream and go through all the tumultuous things that are dealt with when they're living in the wild. So they have this healthy fat in their body that's associated with their healthy muscles. And then we end up eating that and then we become that. So even with beef, you can have beef if it's grass-fed organic. Stay away from the veggie burgers that have the safflower, the canola oil, the sunflower seed oil. They're all so bad for you. And we'll go into a reminder of the bad and the good fats again, just because you can't go over this enough. I didn't know this enough either, and I've made mistakes in my health, and it's so hard because it's just everywhere, but we have to be diligent and aware. This plant protein here is one that I trust, Garden of Life. I also trust Standard Process. Standard Process is a little bit more. So I have this in office, this Garden of Life. It's plant protein. And I also have collagen, really great for all your joints and for your skin, hair, and nails. Another great source of protein. I have it in office. If you find it cheaper anywhere else, I will price match that price and give it to you for that price. So the best way to have protein in the morning, my ideal morning would be after the detox shakes are done, is mixing a little bit of plant protein, a little bit of whey, and a little bit of collagen. Wow, we're having all the essential amino acids, and we are good to go. So it's not really the carbs and sugar and processed food. It's really the carbs, the sugar, and the processed food. It's not the meat. It's the quality of food that we're eating and making sure we're having enough. Here are the oils. The good fats are in butter, chicken fat, cold pressed olive oil, sesame seed, flax oil. Some of the tropical oils are good, coconut and palm oil. You have to make sure that they're expeller cold pressed. You have to check the label. Now, if you're having, see this bad side, if you're having hydrogenated coconut oil and it's been processed, it turns into a bad fat. You might as well be eating canola, corn, soy, safflower, or sunflower oil, all these partially hydrogenated fats. You might as well be eating margarine. It's ridiculous, right? Whatever they do to it, it's ruining our health. So what they're doing to the fat, all these fats over here, is that they're actually burning them up to 400 degrees, which is way too high so that they can live longer on the shelf. Because these oils, they like a very high smoke point. So they cook them and they flash them to 400 degrees so that they live longer and they can stay on the shelf and they can make more money. But our bodies don't know how to deal with that. It's a molecular structure it doesn't like. So what they're doing is good for business, but it's not good for our health. And if the package says heart healthy, that should be a red flag. It's definitely not heart healthy. I have yet to see something that says heart healthy and it's actually heart healthy. It's crazy. Yes, if you have something like oats in a very minimal, it can be heart healthy, but it's not the main source of heart health. You can have all the butter, the coconut oil, all those are really low in omega-6. They do have some in there, and it's all about having the right ratio. But honestly, we're having way too much bad fats, which is the omega-6. We want a good ratio. We can have some omega-6, but we need to have it from the right sources and not have it from vegetable oils that have been flash 400 degrees, high smoke point, refined into our body. That's not what we want. So we have to have this balance of anti-inflammatory fats and pro-inflammatory fats. It's just like sometimes in our body, inflammation is good. Oh, like this week I got a bruise on my knee from the Great Dane running into me. There was inflammation in that area. Thank you. I need that inflammation. I need some of that pain in there in order to repair what happened. I need that. But I don't need an overabundance of inflammation in my body because I got a bruise, right? And that's what would happen if I had a high omega-6. So if we have this omega-3, this anti-inflammatory, this is in the grass-fed meats, wild fish, and it's in walnuts, and all the things that we've talked about. The omega-6s are in breads, grains, carbs, peanuts. Any label that says trans fats, I don't want any trans fats. I want 0 trans fats on the label. If it says any trans fat, I don't want you to eat it. Like, it's not worth it. We're choosing to hurt ourselves in the long run. We want to retire happy. So why would we do that to ourselves, right? So this is what causes high cholesterol as well, as having this omega-6 being really high. It's just having a lot of inflammation in the blood cells and in the veins in your body. And here is all the great things omega-3s do, all the bad things omega-6 do. You need some of the bad. Just because it's bad doesn't mean you need some of it. Okay? Just so you have a list here. Hold on. These are the hateful 8. Run, 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 run. Again, just so you have in your brain, no canola, no corn oil, no cottonseed oil, no soy, no sunflower, no safflower, no grapeseed, no rice bran. The hateful 8 is what they call them. They hydrogenate and destroys everything in the oil. From what I heard in my research and mastermind groups, people who cut this out, all their cellulite goes away. It does something to the body that we just can't digest them. And it lives longer in our body, and we need a good cell turnover in our body. Checking out these labels. Look at this done. If you do this for yourself, ants, they love the natural butter. Can't we listen to Mother Nature and what she's doing? They want the natural way is better for you, and that's what they're going to do. They don't want this processed crap. So we should listen to our body. We've been feeling good up into, like, we had a process of purging, yes, during this detox, but now we feel even better, right? And this is our body's intuition and exactly what the ants are doing right here, saying this is the right way to go. So why would we change much at all when we get after this program, right? Here's a label and it says 0 grams trans fat. So guess what? Society and big pharma, big companies, whatever, everybody up there in the high ranks, they're saying, oh, we don't have to put it on the label if it's under 1 gram. We could say that there's 0 trans fat. So there's definitely trans fat in this guy because it says partially hydrolyzed soybean oil. There's definitely trans fat in here. But because it's under 1 gram, they can put it on the label as 0. So don't be tricked by it saying 0 grams trans fat. It's absolutely ridiculous that I have to explain to people how we're being tricked, right? But this is the way it is. And I'm going to go through a couple more labels and show you how to not fall for things. This is the omega-3 index right here. This omega-3 index is showing you your ratio of omega-3 and 6s in your body. This is a great way. You can pick up this at the sanctuary, and it's just a pinprick of blood on your finger. You send it off to the lab, and it'll tell you exactly where you are. Now, everybody in Japan is at 11%. Everybody that lives in Japan is always at 11%. The ideal range is above 8%. This is associated with low rate heart attacks, stroke, better mental health, low rate of anxiety and depression. If you're underneath 8%, you have a higher risk of all of those things. And anybody that's above 8% does not have those things. So if you're wondering where you are, get this test done, and then we could see how we need to change your diet even more. If it's not, if you just want to do this out of, I really need to take care of my body and I want to know where I'm at, or if you're afraid of your body in the future and maybe genetics, things like that, I really recommend this so you can dial it in. We would love everybody to have 12%, right? But it's hard to get there. And why not push your health to the next level and really get up there? In the herbal and whole food medicine world, we use these omega-3s as ibuprofen and aspirin, as the anti-inflammatory. It comes to tell you how powerful it is. And here's the study showing about strokes and healthy omega-3. So if you're not eating fish every day, you should be having a fish oil in the morning for sure. The food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Slowest form of poison. That's why I'm so passionate about this detox program, because it's really saving people. And there's 2 types of people that come into my practice. The one person who has not been taking care of their health, and they've just been digging such a deep, deep hole in their health. They haven't been investing in themselves, basically, on the health realm. They haven't been working out. They haven't been eating right. They haven't been taking care of their mental health. And now they're in this big hole. And how do they get themselves out? We have to slowly help them climb their way out of that hole because it's so deep. But if you invest in your health and something goes wrong, it's just a speed bump. It's not a big hole. So there's 2 types of people. What type of person do you want to be that comes into my practice? The one that hasn't taken care of things and now all of a sudden they have to climb out of that hole? Or do you just want to go through, oh, I hurt my shoulder, but I got through it in 2 weeks because I'm healthy and my body recovers fast? Or does my shoulder hurt, but I've never taken care of my health ever, and now it's going to take a year or so, right? Where do you want to be? It's really up to you. Being fit and healthy is 80% diet and 20% exercise. And I should add to this, it's also taking care of your mental health and your emotions and what you need to do with them. I need to add that in here for this one, for the next one, but it's getting that point across. I love this dog. I love dogs so much. But being fit is 80% diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. You can't just have all the carbs in the world and then work out 24/7 and expect to be fit and healthy and not have any health problems. No, it's not real. That's why we're focusing on diet. But managing your emotions, I talked about that. Diet is still number one. Diet is still number one on taking care of your body, because the way you eat affects your mental health. It affects every area of your life. If you don't have the right building blocks in chemistry, you can't even think properly. So how can your mental health be thriving? So nutrition is the missing piece of the puzzle, usually. And if you want to change it, it's up to you. I can't force you, right? If you're not moving, or if you haven't been moving yet during the detox, now I encourage you to turn it up a notch and to work out. Start lifting the weights. So if you're not exercising, it's like you're adding oil, changing the oil in your car, which is basically what we did with our liver and gallbladder. We cleaned it all out with all these herbs. And then we're putting new fuel into the car. We're filling it up with all the good, high quality fuel so that it can run great. But then if we never take it out of the garage, what's the point, right? You're just kind of sitting there. You never take it out. You got to take that car out for a spin. You got to get the blood flowing. You got to actually make it happen, right? And it'll feel good. So at least 30 minutes a day, just make sure you're building nice habits. If you go to the gym, or you wake up and look at the weights and you just kind of like lift them a couple times, I'm happy. Great. You did something you didn't do before. Like, just make the habit of actually going there. And here is a study just showing lifelong training, how you're going to have more muscle mass over time. And look what the untrained, like, look at that muscle mass diving down. You want to hold your body upright as you get older so you can enjoy your family, enjoy life, enjoy exploring all that when you retire. So here we go. We work so hard to retire, and then all of a sudden everybody has been taking care of their health, and then their decline in health, and now we can't enjoy retirement, right? Here's some of the food labels that are misleading. No sugar added, but instead we have a variety of sweet tasting carcinogenic cancer chemicals. Run away from no sugar added. Artificial flavoring. Ugh. I know that artificial flavoring, and if it's like artificially black, they just take spiders and they crush them and then they put it inside. There's all these horror stories. It's a horrible mix of chemicals that will trick your brain into thinking you're eating something healthy when you're really not. Natural flavoring, there's a tiny drop of lemon or something added to chemical crap listed in the item number 2. Low fat, instead of fat, we added chemical cocktail to make this worse than fat ever could have been for you. An essential source of vitamin and minerals. We have added a salad of unavailable vitamins and minerals to hide the rest of the garbage that we're feeding you and your children. It's so fake, not real. Just stick to the basic whole foods. Next week, we're going to talk about food reintroduction, how to add back in dairy and all those other things, how to make these things stick, some more healthy recipes and good and bad supplements, and a little recap of everything. Nice and short, get right to the point. Thank you very much. Good job this week. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.